Thanks for watching. This clip was from our live show exclusively on odds.com. To watch the full video, hit the link below and get paid in full. Let's move on. 4:25 p.m. Bengals, Steelers. We don't need to spend too much time on it, but is it back on the board everywhere? No. It looks like it's on the board at some spots. Let's start with the Steelers because that's where the issue is. Roethlisberger placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. So before all this happened, it opened at -9 with a 47.5 total. It went down to 7, and I think that's just people on the inside knowing what was going on. So Roethlisberger placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. He doesn't have it at this point. Steelers are optimistic that he's going to be available and good to go. They placed him and 3 others on the reserve COVID-19 list. Again, we're shooting this Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. So information is going to continue to come in. They're testing every day. So these guys were deemed high-risk contacts to Vance McDonald, who has a positive test. But that could be a false positive. You know how this shit works. Roethlisberger, offensive lineman Gerald Hawkins, running back Jalen Samuels, and linebacker Vince Williams must isolate for 5 days after their last contact with McDonald. They cannot return to the Rooney practice facility for at least those 5 days. Steelers coming off very underwhelming 24-19 win at Dallas to go 8-0. And, God, Dennis Garcia just wrote it like it was his novel. And Bebsy and I both fell for the Steelers, and not only that, but I fell for the Dallas team total under. We'll get to Dallas next week, thankfully. Big Ben hurt his right knee in the second quarter, but came back, finished 29-42, 306 yards, 3 TDs, 0 interceptions. It was a nice Big Ben performance. It reminds me of why I had a girl from buy me his jersey before a couple sexual assault situations made me not wear it. Juju Smith-Schuster led the receiving corps with 6 catches for 93 yards, 1 TD. Steelers got nothing out of their ground attack, a season-low 46 yards on 18 carries. Hilton, cornerback Mike Hilton, and Quan Williams remain questionable to play. Then we get to the Bengals. As Mr. Fun Monk in the chat says, Cincinnati off a bye, and he also says Joe Mixon looks like he's going to be able to play. We last saw them in an impressive 31-20 home win over the Titans. They did it with one angry player, well, more than one, but one in Carlos Dunlap who was traded, another in, they have a few of them, another in John Ross, who's just, I don't know, what's he doing now? He's sidelined by injury. Who knows what he's doing now? Half their offensive line was sidelined by injuries. We'll get into the offensive line because it was a mess.
Sometimes you forget that John Ross is still in the NFL.
I know, and they could use him because Burrow's been so good. 26-37, 249 yards, 2 Ds, no turnovers, no sacks for the first time this season. Also, Bebsy, it reminds me of what's going on in New York with Judge and Tate. And that's worked out perfectly for the Giants. This looks like it's not helped the Bengals at this point. Bernard, 15 carries for 62 yards. Prine, 10 carries for 32 yards. T. Higgins, 6 catches for 78 yards. Boyd, 6 catches for 67 yards. Auden Tate, 7 catches for 65 yards. And then going to their offensive line is this. Bobby Hart with the knee injury, center Trey Hopkins concussion protocol, and left tackle Jonah Williams were all ruled out 2 days before the game. And then left guard Michael Jordan was scratched Sunday morning because of undisclosed illness. And Billy Price, who, remember when he was drafted, Bebsy, you were like, oh, they finally drafted someone who can protect the quarterback. And he's been a bum, right? He's been on the bench.
Yeah, he started this season as a backup. I've been very disappointed with Billy Price. I loved him at Ohio State, and he has not lived up to that in the NFL so far.
He was forced to replace Hopkins. He said he found out at 10 in the morning. And then rookie Hakeem Adeniji made a starting debut at left tackle. Shaq Calhoun went from the practice squad to starting left guard. Veteran Fred Johnson moved to right tackle. Quinton Spain, who arrived in Cincinnati on Friday, saw the field, saw playing time. Hart, Hopkins, Williams all remain questionable, but you have to think that offensive line is going to be stronger. And the Bengals look great. They beat the Titans 31-20. They look great. They lost Darius Phillips with a left groin injury, their cornerback. He's listed as questionable. Mixon, Ross, Jordan, all questionable, could be back. But Sam Hubbard, done, defensive end on injured reserve. Bebsy, take it away. Let's act as if Big Ben will be in the lineup. And the spread's at 7, totals at 47. Take it away.
Well, to be honest with you, this is a game I wish I got in on the Bengals when it opened and not now, as it's gone down a bit, this Ben stuff coming out. But to me, the bigger issue is the injury Ben sustained last week. He's going to be less mobile even if he does play. This is now compounded by the fact that I think he would have had a light practice this week regardless, but the fact that he is now isolated for the week, it's a really, really difficult spot for the Steelers. Look, if Ben can't play and the answer is Mason Rudolph, then geez, you'd be kicking yourself if you didn't jump in on Cincinnati. I do believe that Ben plays, but I do believe that he's going to be playing hurt, and who knows if he's going to be able to finish this game. I mean, you see Ben takes a wallop a lot of the time, and it happened last week. You know, the week before they're playing the Ravens, he's been getting banged up lately. And this is a really, really difficult spot. For that reason, I'm on Cincinnati, especially because of how great Joe Burrow has played, their ability to cover. And look, if Mixon's back, that is just all the more reason to take the points and jump on the Bengals here. I've been bullish on the Steelers all year long. I got talked into the Steelers last week. I hated myself for letting that happen. And of course they lost, they didn't lose. They didn't cover the spread. I mean, but for this reason, I have to be on Cincinnati. It's Cincinnati or no play. And I really like Cincy here. Really tough spot for the Steelers.
Very tough spot for the Steelers. It is available in a couple books. There's a couple books that it's available for you at, and you can take them. There's still there's markets been moving quickly, but here resorts and PointsBet have taken it off the board. But BetMGM, who's been very good to you so far tonight, DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetRivers have moved to 6.5, but BetMGM's still hanging at 7.5.
Let's rock that 7.5 now. My only concern is that Ben comes. It's announced that he could play, and the line shifts, and it's a bigger spread. But for me, I have to jump on Cincy here.
I wish I could. I'm unable to, and I can only legitimize the bets that I make for my spot with record keeping. So it's off the board at Bet365. I can't bet it. But Bebsy moves on them at plus 7.5 and minus 115. Bebsy, let's just quickly talk about this total before we move on to the next game. It is – oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. It is sitting at – so it's sitting at – let's say it's going down. Pinnacle's moved down to 46. If let's say it's at 47 and Ben's in, what are your expectations?
I don't. Birdie just said, "Don't think so, Bebsy. I think sharps are banging the Bengals here."
Yeah, I think even if Ben's good, I that's what he's saying.
Okay. I thought you were. I was like, I thought we were on the same page here. Sorry, I was reading that and then I lost. What did you say was the?
What do you think of this total? Let's say it's at 47.
It all comes down to Ben and if he's playing and if he's playing healthy. Like he's playing banged up, we know that. They desperately need a bye. But if they have to play Mason Rudolph, then there's no way that this points total doesn't go down. So, I can't touch it. If anything, right now I look at the under. But with the way Joe Burrow's been able to rack up points this year, it's hard not to kind of peek at the over.
It's interesting with the way Judge has handled everything and Golden Tate. It was easier than what Zach Taylor's had to deal with, clearly, because Zach took Dunlap, he took Ross, Geno Atkins still on the team, and John Ross is too, but I'm not sure if it's working for the Bengals, where I know it is for the Giants, and maybe that's an easy thing to say because Giants are only dealing with possibly one player. Beyond that,
you also got to remember the Giants are facing much easier competition.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement. But I'm just saying, beyond that, I'm heavy on the Bengals. I was quite confident in that Titans spot. So I think this Bengals is a vastly improved, climbing fast team, and now coming off the break when their offensive line can get healthy. I wish I was able to bet the Bengals. I know that Birdie already did. I believe Dennis Garcia already did before that news came out. I believe. Great stuff. Intex has 40% chance of rain in Pittsburgh. Still, if that's the case, well, we'll see what the weather is for our Sunday show. But then I guess the under would have some interest, especially if Roethlisberger is out. We could say if Ben is out.